Hey y'all, this is Ray. I'm here with OpaRay. Um, Thought I should do a 10,000 mile check-in. To be fair, uh, I've been working on it for a little while, but anyway, I'm at 11,741 miles right now, so it's a little past due. I did rotate the tires at 10,000. So anyway, the real question is, how is it basically going? So, do I love my car? Yes, it's a great car. Um, does it have a few problems? Yes. Um, but let's save the problems for later. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Um, you know, are there some issues? Yes, but nothing that you wouldn't expect from another car. So it's all good. So let's get into some of the problems that I've had, and then we'll go and say what's really good about it. How does that work? Anyway, that's where we're going. Okay, so let's start with service items. I've had 3 basic service issues with this car. The first one was, it turned out that the windshield washer fluid tube was not connected. At least that's what I think it is. No big deal. I just reported it on the app. They scheduled a time for me to come in, and I'm guessing it only took them a few minutes. So there's actually 2 rooms in Palm Springs, and I was in the second one. I thought I heard my name, but by the time I got up to go look, they were already outside fixing the car. And then they finally tracked me down. So that was real easy. Number 2 is my right side pillar camera is reporting being blocked from time to time. The first happened in California, was out towards San Diego, and in that case, quite possibly there might have been some fog, maybe some moisture. It did rain pretty heavy the one day. So anyway, it comes and goes, and at the moment it's kind of attributed to if it gets cold outside, it'll happen. Now, that's not always the case when it happens to me, but I guess until it happens significantly enough, basically the service guy said, yes, maybe some moisture got in the camera, and it'll go. Okay, we'll see. The good news is it's not affecting me driving, so that's okay. And I do have some videos I'm going to include in, or some clips I'm going to include in this. So the third thing I have is my rear hatch. The rear hatch has a motor that lifts it and closes it. For some reason, sometimes it doesn't want to let go. So you see the latch release, the gate goes up slightly, and then it closes again. Although the car does not record it being closed, so maybe it didn't close all the way. They've already replaced the motor side strut, and they replaced the passive strut, and they've adjusted it. I've scheduled another service appointment coming up where I think they're going to look at a firmware update or something like that. So hopefully when they get into that, maybe they'll resolve it. I know that it used to work because I've done light show before, and light show includes that rear hatch opening and closing and staying open halfway through. But anyway, my VIN is a 3700 series, so it's relatively early in the build process at Austin. So, I wouldn't make a big deal about the small things as long as they're getting resolved. But anyway, that's where we are for service items. Okay, so this message looks concerning, right? And I have this in other videos that I haven't put together yet. But right door pillar camera blocked or blinded. Clean camera. or wait for it to regain visibility. Well, I'm driving along, so I'm stopped right now, but I was driving along, so I'm not going to stop driving all of a sudden because of this. But you know, in a vision-only system, wait, what does this mean? So anyway, passenger side camera. Look, it's cleared up now. So it's 50 degrees, 49 degrees. It's clear outside, so it's not fog. So let's go take a look at the camera, shall we? Or at least the pillar. I'll let you know, there is a little dirt spot there. Let's try that. Okay, that looks like it's cleaner. I'm surprised it would have been complaining about the little dirt spot there, but let's see what happens. Okay, so that message is gone, and let's keep driving throughout the day and see what eventually happens. I have contacted Tesla service at Palm Springs in Austin, and they basically said that, yeah, if your car is a little bit cold, or if you know, there might be some moisture inside the camera, although it's sealed. Maybe some moisture may work its way in, so it's getting a little fogged up or something. I don't know. Anyway, they said they're not going to fix it. So all I can do is document that it occurs. And like I said, I don't have FSD, so I don't have to worry about FSD crashing the car because it can't see. I don't have to worry about TAC. TAC already has its own little issues about going around curves and stuff like that, so that should be okay. And yeah, autopilot, it's really only about highways. I don't do all that much highway driving, so I think I'm okay. It's just, it's annoying that you have a problem come up and it just keeps coming up. Anyway, onward, upward, charge. Okay, here we are. I just drove down going south, so that camera in question has been in the shade for 30 minutes or so, and the message came back after driving for a little bit, and it's here. You know, Tesla service, it's embarrassing to show this car to somebody with a message like this. To me, it indicates that there must be some kind of quality problem. You know, service can defend it all they want, but until you actually do something, it's embarrassing. And I try to tell people this is the best car you could possibly get, and we get this. Anyway. Okay, let's see what happens here.
OpaRay. Okay, go.
Okay, so here we are. Push the button. Pull the signal. See that? Okay, so no rain, sunshine, warm. For some reason, it just locked. This is about maintenance items. So coming back from San Diego, I got a TPS warning that my tires are kind of low, and indeed they were kind of soft. So I was in Deming, New Mexico, so I hopped over to the Walmart where they have an EA station actually, and I purchased one of these. So this has a portable air compressor. It plugs into your cigarette lighter, and it comes with a canister of tire repair or slime, so if you run into that. So it's my first thing that I bought for maintenance, so to speak, or actually for emergencies, but there you are. I also found these online. I forgot exactly where, but so these are the little plugs you put in. So there's holes in the bottom of your car along the frame. You plug these in for if you want to jack up the car, and I have used them once. Speaking of emergency needs, Here I have my bag that contains my Tesla mobile connector. It comes with a 120 volt connector, a 1430 240, and a 1450. The 1430 and 1450 I bought extra. But the rest of the mobile connector did come with my car. That doesn't happen anymore. And over here I have my Tesla CCS Combo 1 adapter. So if I find myself at a place like Electri America, I can still plug in and get charge. Okay, driver's side front. Looks good. Okay, driver's side rear. Okay, passenger front. Okay, looks decent. Okay, passenger side rear. Okay, so I did have some artwork from my favorite granddaughter, and this is what I used to clean it up. Just used some Armor All cleaning wipes. I just wiped until I felt like it was starting to get dry, and then I got a new one and started over again. And then I followed it up with just a simple rag to dry it back out. And almost all that ink did come out, so that's all good. Okay, so I do have two basically cosmetic issues. One, guess what? I live in Texas. There are pebbles and there are semis. So apparently a semi driving by threw up a small rock. It hit my windshield just below the line where the windshield wipers rest. So it doesn't impact my view. It's not impacting the windshield, so it's fine. And the other thing is I did get a scratch on my rear hatch, actually. So a little paint is scraped off, but it's fine. It was my fault. I did it, and it's not hurting anything. So we're all good there. Okay, so the big news, or the big brouhaha, if you want to call it that, with Tesla is FSD. So I did not order FSD. I like driving my car. I can't imagine having the car drive itself. So and plus, at the time it cost what, $12,000? I think it's gone up since then. So I didn't want to pay extra for something I didn't really want to use. But related to FSD is the autopilot and the traffic aware cruise control. Now, autopilot I have found is really meant for being used on the highway, and the thing about autopilot is, to prove that you're involved in driving the car, is you have to put pressure on the wheel. And if you're driving all day, the constant having to push a little bit one way and pull the other way and back and forth is using energy. Now I get what they're trying to do. It's kind of, I don't know, it's six one half dozen the other. You want to improve the safety and make sure that the users are aware of what's going on. On the other hand, putting that much energy into it kind of makes it not really worth it for highway driving. So I tend not to use it. The other part is the TAC, the traffic aware cruise control. I do use cruise control. The problem I've had with cruise control is the phantom braking, so to speak. So what I've observed is when I'm going over a hill on I-10, going over a hill and come just about to crest, it appears like the car loses sight of the road, and so it wants to slow down. As a driver, I know that we're going up a hill and we're going back down the hill and we're going to be on the flat again. Or at least I assume it is. I mean, it could be I'll be falling even more, but it doesn't look that way from my side. So I get it. Cruise control also seems to have an issue with if I'm on, let's just call it 2-lane road. So if I'm going around a corner to my right, is that right? To my right? Maybe to my left? No, to my right. So I'm headed, if there's a car coming the other way, I'm heading more or less straight towards that car. At least that's the way TAC sees it. Or I think TAC sees it that way. So TAC will start braking. So what I'm learning with TAC is, in situations where my foot normally would have been over my brake pedal, it's now over the accelerator to accelerate when the car decides it needs to brake or slow down. Okay. The other thing was on I-10, it's mostly black asphalt. For some reason, there was a section that was patched with red gravel, whatever. And so the car seemed to have a problem with that. I assume that over time, as the AI work continues on FSD, that will be trickled down into the other systems. So it's more of a software issue than any kind of other different issue. I know to expect it, so I've gotten kind of used to it. I deal with it. It's not really a big deal. So I would not say that's a reason not to buy it. On the other hand, if you're buying a Tesla, expecting to hop in it right away and have it drive you around, that's not happening. FSD is not to that point yet. It's from what I heard is great, but it's not to that point yet. Now, I don't know what the other cars, you'll have to evaluate those as you go. But with that said, I don't see those as reasons as not buying this car, because the problems I described, over time, they'll be resolved by software updates, or at least they'll get much, much better with software updates. So I would not let that bother me one bit. Anyway, onward, upward. Okay, so one of the really good things about this car is navigation. So right now we're looking at the map. This map will go along as it will float with the car as we float along. But over here, if I enter a destination, Boston, Mass. Okay, so now it's starting to calculate the route. Look at all the supercharger stops. So the car has planned out how I'm going to get there. And if I accept it, well, actually, as long as I don't cancel out of it, it will direct me to where I'm going. This is really cool. And it'll give me an idea. For example, right now it's saying my first charging stop would be Waco, and I would have 26% pulling in. And that happens to be a version 3. It doesn't show that here, but I know it's a version 3 because I've been there. So that part's really, really cool. Show me a better system, but this is great. So the other parts are as much as I don't like the minimalist approach, because I don't have a dashboard. Okay, I miss having a dashboard that tells me the speed. because looking at the screen over here, I have to look over there, so it takes my attention away from the road. Whereas if I look down dashboard and look back up, I haven't moved my head hardly at all. So but that's okay. You may notice it shows me the percent left, and then if I push on the percent, it shows me in miles what it thinks it is. Of course, the miles is more of an estimate. The percentage is actual battery. Okay. The controls. So there's a right stock, pull down, drive, push up, reverse. If you're in drive, you push up slightly, neutral. Push the button on the end, park. To go into traffic aware cruise control, when you're in drive, pull down the stock once more when you can enable it. So there is a on the screen, it'll show a little gray driving circle, a driving steering wheel, which is not there right now, obviously, because I'm parked. But it'll show that circle. So when it has that circle, you can pull down, go into it. For entertainment, I have TuneIn. Oops. So with TuneIn, my favorite radio station in Austin is Bob FM 103.5. Okay. Because TuneIn is powered through a cell network, I can get Bob FM no matter where I go. The only negative is when you get further away from home, they tend to throw in more ads, but that's fine. So, what else can I tell you? The storage space in this car is great. I mean, the front I usually use to store emergency items. Like I keep a portable charger in there. I have my CCS1 adapter in there. I also have a portable air compressor in there for when I get low tires. So when I went to San Diego, I went through some hills, and I guess it was kind of chilly, so my tire pressure went down low enough that it gave me a warning. So I stopped at Walmart and got one. So now I have one of those too. That works out. So from a driving perspective, I love this car. I love the moonroof. It's great. What else did I say? I love the tire. The tires are the widest tires I've ever had, except, well, I did have a Porsche 911 for a while. So the back tires on that car was much wider. But I mean, the tires on this car are wide. It's a performance-oriented car. I mean, it's not the performance model, it's the long range. So it doesn't have everything a performance would have. But relatively speaking, it's great. The other cool geeky thing is this energy graph. So this energy graph gives you an idea of how you're using your energy. In this case, you see it's real up and down, which makes sense because I'm in Lago Vista. So you have to climb up short hills, and then you roll downhill. So using energy, using a lot less energy and recuperating. So where you see the little green spot down there is I've actually gone, it's positive energy basically. I've gone beyond zero, and I'm adding more than I'm using. So that's really cool. Right now it shows that I should go in 245. So that's good. So the other thing I guess I should say, I mean, there's so much automation in this car. So many things are done for you that you don't have to do, which is really cool. So the other thing to add into this is, of course, the supercharger network. So when you're comparing every other American car or almost every other American car that uses CCS1, to Teslas that used NACS, the difference in how your charge experience happens is amazing. The way the map and the navigation works is so much better. Now, other car makers are getting it. They're improving their navigation. They're improving their ability to direct you to chargers. But with this car, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to a Tesla supercharger because it's a Tesla. So that's good. It also will notice whether or not, as you get closer to the supercharger, I mean, the tracking of how many dispensers are being used, or how many dispensers are free and ready for use, is being tracked by Tesla in near real-time status. I'm sure it's not quite real-time, but it's constantly being updated. So if you're heading towards a station where all the dispensers are in use, Tesla will redirect you to another station where it's a bit less busy. And it'll do it automatically. You won't even know it happened. I mean, you'll see a change. If you look, you'll see a change in navigation instructions, but not a big deal. So this part is really cool. So instead of like you're driving a nice car, you're driving down the highway looking for, as you get to the point where you want to fill up, you start looking at exits to see what gas stations are there. I mean, at least that's the way I do it. With this car, I don't have to do any of that. The car's doing it. So that is really cool. That's useful technology. Now, you might complain that, yes, but you have sections where it's 100 miles between chargers. Yes, that's true. So when you navigate, the navigation system will plot and plan for those stops appropriately. So that's all good. I mean, I don't know how you can top it. Giving everything we have right now today, I don't know how you top it. It's great. I'm sure there's a lot of things. We could talk about the infotainment system. We could talk about the fact that when I'm parked, I can watch YouTube. There is camp mode. And so with camp mode, I'm able to stop at a rest stop, put my car in camp mode. And this is for like an overnight park. So I can park my car overnight. If I have a mattress thrown in the back, I can lay down and I can go sleep for a while. Camp mode will either keep the cabin warm or cold, depending on what the situation is. So it's very comfortable. Now, with a gas-powered car, yes, you could leave it run overnight, but you're using up gas that whole time. You're chewing through it. So this car, what I found so far is I plan on roughly 13% overnight for a 10-12 hour stay. So that's not much. So anyway, all that said, would I highly recommend this to anybody? Yes, I would, absolutely. And I'm sure that they've made a lot of progress in handling all the little things that are nagging. So get over it. My car was built by people who were still learning how to build cars. So considering how much of all that is automated and how their system works, it's all good. By the way, did I mention the app? Yes, a lot of cars have apps now, but the Tesla app, wow, it's pretty nice. It does a lot for you.